Welcome, everyone. I want to thank you for being here today. My name is John Edwards. I'm a research analyst with the San Diego Centers of Excellence. I'm joined here with my colleague, Priscilla Fernandez, as well as Christine Timble Larson. Oh, is it that person? So we're going to be talking to you today, as the title suggests, opportunities for pathways from the military to civilian workforce. This study came about as an initiative from the California Chancellor's Office looking to take a deep dive into certain occupational groups. There were 4 reports conducted by different centers throughout the state, like climate-ready occupations, service workers, childcare, and of course, veterans. So as they say, if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late. So let's see how fast we can get through this presentation. Okay. So the mission of the San Diego Imperial Center of Excellence is rooted in 4 key pillars: research, training, advocacy, and evaluation. Through research and training, we provide actionable labor market intelligence to support community colleges and workforce partners. We use this foundation to advocate for the needs of both employers and students, ensuring programs, policies, and practices reflect both regional demand and equity goals. Our mission is threefold. First, to build community college capacity to close systematic equity gaps. Second, to unify regional workforce across San Diego and Imperial counties. And third, to advocate for equitable policy change in education and workforce development. Everything we do is about using data and partnerships to strengthen pathways for students and to meet the evolving needs of our regional economy. And this is a snapshot of the 10 community colleges we serve at our center. In San Diego County, we have 9 community colleges. In the north, we have Maricosta College, working your way down south. To South Bay, we have Southwestern College, and then eastward, we have Imperial County with Imperial Valley College. So with that said, on to the presentation. So let's take a look at the veteran demographics in our region. In San Diego County, veterans make up 8% of the population with about 194,000 veterans, second only to LA County, which has 230,000 veterans, but triple the population as compared to San Diego. Compared to 4% in Imperial County with 5,000 veterans. In terms of gender, veterans in both counties are primarily male, 89% in San Diego, and even higher by 5%, 94% in Imperial County. The racial and ethnic breakdown varies by region. In San Diego, the veteran population is 60% white, 17% Hispanic, and 23% other. In contrast, Imperial County's veterans are 61% Hispanic, 26% white, and 13% other, reflecting the broader demographic composition of the county. Age is another important factor. In San Diego County, 57% of veterans are 55 and older, while in Imperial County, half are 55 and over, with a slightly larger share in the middle age group. Finally, educational attainment shows that 42% of veterans in San Diego hold a bachelor's degree or higher, whereas in Imperial County, 30% have some college or an associate degree. This snapshot highlights both the similarities and unique characteristics of the veteran population in our 2 counties. Valuable insights for tailoring outreach, education, and support services. This slide outlines the research process we use to identify the meaningful military to civilian career pathways. We began by identifying military occupations on roles that are commonly held by service members across branches. This foundational step ensures we have a clear understanding of the type of military roles we're mapping to. This slide explains the Military Occupational Classification, or MOC system. It's a structured framework used by the U.S. Armed Forces to categorize service members' roles and specialties. While each branch of the military employs its own version of the system, MOC codes are generally grouped into one of 3 personnel categories. As you can see, there's roughly 13,000 MOC codes. Commissioned officers make up about 6% of the MOCs with 800 codes. And these are typically leadership and strategic roles. Warrant officers represent the largest share, about 50% with 6,500 codes. and they serve as highly specialized technical experts across a range of military functions. And enlisted personnel account for 44% with 5,700 codes, covering the majority of operational and support roles within the military. Understanding this breakdown is essential for identifying the relevant civilian pathways based on the structure and scope of the military service roles. Next step, we'll map those military occupations to their civilian equivalents using the standard occupational crosswalk. To support veterans in transitioning successfully into the civilian workforce, it's essential to identify jobs that match their military-acquired skills and experience. To do this, we use the mock to SOC crosswalk from ONET. And it's a tool that links the mock codes with the standard occupational classification SOC codes used in the civilian labor market, created by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And this mapping compares the skills, duties, and qualifications of military roles with those civilian jobs, helping us translate military experience into equivalent civilian career opportunities. By aligning these two classification systems, we can better understand where veteran skills fit in the civilian economy and where the most promising high wage, high demand career pathways exist. Now, we identified military occupations with military exits to determine equivalent civilian jobs. In this step of the process, we looked at military exits, which are defined as the number of service members transitioning out of the military and into the civilian workforce based off of their county. Nationwide, there are approximately 153,000 military exits each year. Within California, we see about 17,500 exits, and nearly 35% of those occur in San Diego, making it a critical region for veteran workforce support. Imperial County sees far fewer exits, about 80 annually, accounting for about 1% of the state's total. By identifying which military occupations had consistent exits, we were able to map them to civilian equivalent occupations. This step ensures we're focusing on real active transitions, not just the theoretical alignments. And this data helps us prioritize occupations with the highest transition potential when developing career pathways for veterans. Then we get into evaluating whether civilian jobs meet demand and wage criteria. Out of the 43 occupations in San Diego County with military exits, only 11 met our criteria for strong civilian pathway alignment. To qualify, each occupation had to meet 3 benchmarks. At least 20 military exits, showing a significant number of veterans transitioning out of that role within the county. Civilian demand that exceeds military exits using projected annual job openings from 2023 to 2028, a 5-year projection. And finally, entry-level wages had to be above the county's living wage of $26.01 per hour. I'll talk about that a little bit later in the following slides. And some standout occupations include aircraft mechanics and service technicians with 295 military exits and a wage of $31.43, and that's the entry-level wage. That's what someone can expect to earn when going into an occupation. That's the 25th percentile. Police and Sheriff's Patrol officers, one of the highest demand roles with 705 annual openings. And we also have airline pilots and physician assistants, which offer the highest entry-level wages on the list. And this data helps us focus workforce development efforts where both the veteran supply and civilian demand align with strong wage potential. If that living wage seems high, let me provide some background. If you've been paying attention to the real estate prices over the last few years, you've probably noticed prices are kind of high. In San Diego County, the median price of a home is $1,040,000. And that's as of February of this year using the data from the California Association of Realtors. That means a family income of $260,000 is needed to afford a home at that price, which equates to a family of 2 working adults, each earning about $60 an hour. If you're thinking, I couldn't afford that, that's most likely because only about 15% of the population here in San Diego earns $260,000 or above. The rent cited here is from HUD for a 2-bed, 2-bath apartment. A rent of $3,100 requires a single adult to make $54 an hour, or a 2 household adults $27 an hour. But I'm just showing this to show this is why we focus on using the living wage as a benchmark and not the homeowner wage. The living wage, also known as the self-sufficiency wage, this is the wage metric used by the California Chancellor's Office, and it's used to determine whether students are obtaining a living wage after graduating from their programs at the community college level. We also use this wage as a benchmark for occupations in our reports, such as this. And as of 2024, the San Diego self-sufficiency wage was $26.01. Prior to that, back in 2021, it was $18.43. So in the span of 3 years, it was an $8 jump. So if you earn $26 an hour, multiply that by 2,080, which is the average hours worked in a year, that equates to an annual salary of $54,000. That's what someone needs to earn to get by, not thrive. So that's renting an apartment, possibly just a room, traveling to work, most likely public transportation, groceries, utilities, and that's it. No travel, no restaurants, no extras. This is surviving, not thriving. And then if we were to use the MIT, we'd be closer to $31 an hour. So jumping to Imperial County. We identified 27 occupations with at least one military exit. Of those 20 occupations met the criteria for strong civilian job alignment. To qualify, each occupation needed at least one military exit, civilian demand greater than the number of military exits, similar to San Diego's from 23 to 28, and entry-level wages above the local living wage, which is $15.14 per hour in Imperial County. Some examples of those occupations include police and sheriff's patrol officers, which had 7 military exits and an entry-level wage of $30.24, heavy and tractor-trailer truck drivers with high demand and solid entry wages, and stalkers and order fillers, which had the highest number of civilian job openings among all listed occupations. And again, this data is critical for targeting workforce strategies that align with both veteran transition patterns and regional labor market needs. Finally, we get to the point of identifying compatible occupations that are high demand and high wage. In San Diego County, we analyzed 43 occupations with military exits in 2022. From the total, 11 occupations met our criteria for strong alignment with civilian job opportunities. So that's based on demand and entry-level wages and sufficient military exits. However, 32 occupations did not meet the criteria. This means that while they had some military exits, they had either lacked sufficient civilian demand, did not meet the local living wage threshold, or both. For military occupations that didn't meet our initial criteria, such as low demand or not meeting the living wage, we asked a key question. How can we identify compatible civilian jobs that offer better opportunity? To solve this, we use the Compatibility Index Scores, a tool developed by Lightcast. This index leverages ONET data to compare occupations based off of knowledge, skills, and abilities, KSAs, and it measures how similar one job is to another from a functional perspective. Scores range from 0 to 100, where 0 means no compatibility and 100 indicates a perfect match. This approach allows us to offer alternative career pathways that align with the veteran's experience, while also meeting workforce needs. While 32 occupations in San Diego County failed to meet our original criteria, we didn't stop there. We used compatibility index scores to identify alternative civilian occupations that veterans could realistically and successfully transition into. To qualify as a compatible occupation, the job needed to meet 3 benchmarks. Compatibility score above 80, meaning strong alignment in skills and duties, at least 60 projected annual openings between 23 and 28, so high demand, and entry-level wages above San Diego County's living wage of $26.01. And some of the top matching occupations include rad techs, electrical power line installers, both with 9 compatible with 9 military roles, bus and track mechanics aligned with 8 roles, and aircraft mechanics with the highest number of annual openings. And these results help us expand career options for veterans by focusing on the jobs that match their skills, meet regional demand, and offer livable wages. In Imperial County, we've examined 27 occupations where military exits occurred. From those, 20 occupations met the criteria showing strong alignment with high demand and high wage civilian jobs. However, 7 of those occupations did not meet the criteria, either due to low demand, insufficient wage levels, or weak alignment between military skills and civilian roles. And recognizing which roles didn't meet the bar was just as important. It helps us focus training and career navigation efforts for opportunities that truly support the veterans in securing stable, well-paying jobs. Again, similar to what we did with San Diego. Although 7 occupations in Imperial County did not meet our original criteria, we were able to identify strong alternatives using the compatibility index scores. Similar to San Diego, it had to have a score of 80 or above, had to have at least 13 projected annual job openings, which is high demand for Imperial County, and entry-level wages above 1514. And some of the top matches here, we have power plant operators that are aligned with 3 military occupations and offer a wage of $37.46. Compliance officers and computer user support specialists, which both have strong demand and wage alignment. And we also have roles in mechanical, technical, and supervisory trades. And these results help expand viable career options for veterans by connecting them with occupations that leverage their skills, what they're supporting long-term stability and growth. Then there are occupations that are classified as military only. Roles that are exclusive to the armed forces but have no direct civilian equivalents. These examples include infantry, special forces, which are combat-focused roles, artillery and missile crew members who manage and operate advanced weapons systems, aircraft launch and recovery specialists who are critical to flight deck operations, and command and control officers responsible for mission coordination and real-time battlefield communication. Even though these roles don't translate directly to civilian job titles, they often involve highly transferable skills like leadership, discipline, technical expertise, and teamwork, qualities that are valuable in a wide range of industries. This highlights the need for creative transition planning and skills-based evaluation to help veterans from these roles to find stronger career pathways in the civilian workforce. This table shows the military exit data for military-only occupations, again, roles that don't have direct civilian equivalents. These are easily identifiable in the SOC code system because of the leading 2 digits 55, or the leading 2-digit number of 55, which indicates military only. Across California, we saw a large number of exits. For example, infantry had the highest exit count with roughly 1,800 statewide, 201 from San Diego County, 9 from Imperial. Artillery and missile crew members also saw significant exits with over 600 combined statewide. And special forces, if you notice that number, 80% of special forces exiting the military in California are from San Diego, which I would associate with the Navy SEALs in Coronado, if I had to take a guess. The volume of exits, especially in San Diego County, shows the importance of supporting these service members with targeted transition strategies, skills translation, and pathway development. What does that entail? And again, we touched on this in the report, expanding credit for prior learning. This allows veterans to earn academic credit for training and skills gained during their service. So accelerating educational pathways. Department of Defense, the COOL program helps align military experience with civilian certifications and licenses, bridging formal qualification gaps. TAP and VMET support veterans in translating their experience into civilian-friendly language, which is critical for resumes and interviews. Finally, community colleges and workforce partners play a vital role in guiding veterans towards compatible civilian career paths by focusing on underlying transferable skills, such as leadership, problem solving, and technical expertise. Veterans as a whole, transitioning to civilian careers, have access to a wide range of support services, both locally and nationally. But this is a small sample of those resources that we've consolidated into this report to work as a guide of sorts. So we have veteran resource centers at each community college, which offers checklists, guides, direct services to help veterans navigate college and career planning. The Mock to Sock crosswalk from ONET, which is the basis for how we created our report. Mill Gears, Calvet. Calvet is probably one of the top resources because it's from the California Department of Veterans Affairs. It summarizes available state benefits, including healthcare, employment, housing, and more. Together, these tools and resources form a comprehensive support network to help veterans successfully re-enter the civilian workforce. So thank you for taking the time to explore the military to civilian employment report with us. If you'd like to access the full report, simply scan the QR code here on the screen. It will take you directly to the digital version. And for any follow-up questions, collaboration opportunities, or if you'd like to help apply some of these insights at your college or organization, feel free to reach out to me directly. Again, John Edwards, Research Analyst with San Diego Imperial Center of Excellence. Email address is right there. And at this time, we can open up the floor to questions if there aren't too many in the chat already.
My name's Staff Garris. I have a question.
Yes.
On the mapping, the military to civilian mapping, is there a place where we can go find that and utilize it directly?
Yes, that would be it's in the reports, but that would be the Mock to Sock crosswalk from ONET. That's going to be
okay, good.
Yeah, that's going to give you the 13,000 mock codes and their equivalent occupations. Only thing I have to give you a heads up about it is I believe they're still using the 2010 SOC taxonomy. So you have to update a good chunk of those codes to the 2018 SOC taxonomy if you're trying to correlate it to what the current reporting out on occupations is from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Just part of the cleanup.
Good. Thank you.
Of course. Any other questions? I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but this report is more of a guide to help focus on the type of military roles for the community colleges based off of the military exits within our region. There's also within the appendix a breakout of military exits throughout the state. Originally, this was supposed to be potentially done across the state by each region or each county, but that data is no longer available. It's through Jobs EQ, but it's only available at the national level. It's no longer available at the county level, unfortunately. The good news, we have it for California, San Diego, and Imperial. So. Well, if there's no other questions, or if you have a question come up and you want to send me a quick email, I'll be available. So thank you for joining us today, and have a good rest of your day, week, all of the above. Thank you, everyone.